Hello, good evening, everyone. If you're just joining us,
Yeah, good evening.
yeah, good evening. Yeah, good evening, David. So, if you're just joining us, let's just give in about an extra few minutes for others to join, so we can all start at the same time. Okay. All right. I think we can begin now. Hello, can everyone hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thank you, David. It's nice to be in this class with you guys. Um, First of all, my name is John Chimeze, a quality assurance software engineer. Can I just share my screen? Sorry, a moment, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So let me just make it a bit. Please, can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I don't know. Is it a compulsory thing to put on your videos? I don't know. Is it compulsory to put on your videos?
No.
Okay. So let me just put on my video. Please, can everybody see me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for giving me this opportunity to partake in this training. My name is John Chimize. I'm a Okay, sorry. My name is John Chimize. I'm a EQA engineer, and I've worked in different organizations. And today I will be coming here to share my experience with you all. Um, the topic I'll be handling today is on STLC, SDLC. I'm sure some of you must have heard of it before. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So first off, I don't know how many are we? How many are we in class right now? Can someone check? I'm currently on this
28.
the on
About
screen.
28 now.
Okay, 28. That's good. That's good. 28. So I have just few days with you, which is for the whole week, this whole week. I think that's my training section with you guys will be for the whole week. And I don't know, I need to meet some of you, like get to know you people, one-on-one. Let's have an interaction before going to you understand, before going to lectures. Um um can someone just tell me a little bit introduction about themselves? you know, let's just start with a formal introduction.
Okay, can
Anybody?
I start? Can I start?
Please go. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Of course, I can
Hello?
hear you loud and clear. Go on. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Who's talking, please?
David, my name is Akpatre
So what's your
David.
name? To tell us your name.
Can you hear me? My name is
Okay,
David.
David.
My
All
name
right, I
is
get that.
David.
Go on.
Yeah, so I am a junior
Yeah, go on.
I'm a junior front-end software developer who has been a software developer for 2 years. I've been into testing, although manually, actually reporting to the project management team and to the software testers. So just here to gain well, I say enterprise experience and enterprise knowledge to just integrate it into the enterprise world. So that is it for now.
It seems John's network is not great. While he joins the call again, please remember that the attendance is taken on the call also, as Parkinson has mentioned a number of times. I'm seeing a HP on the call. If your name is not marked, you guys will now be harassing your team leads. Please, I did not admit any HP. Help me adjust your name and indicate your name. All right. Over to you, John. You're on mute. You're muted.
Oh, so sorry. For a moment, I thought I did something wrong. I mean, I wasn't just sharing anybody again. Okay, thank you so much, Udeme. All right. Yeah, you can go on, David.
I'm so gone again. I thought I was done.
Oh,
Okay, can you
really? I
hear
was
me?
disconnected. Yeah,
Can you hear me now? Can
yeah,
you hear me now?
of course. Go
Okay, my
on.
name is David. I'm a software developer, a front-end developer. I've been a software developer for 2 years, um, and also a manual test.
Hello? This time is David.
I think David also has a network issue.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's David's network
Okay.
this time. Someone else
Yeah.
can go.
So just to be very clear, just your name and what you currently do. I mean, because of time, so I just want to know everybody, just this few days we have together. Your name and what you do at the moment, that's fine. All right, yeah, the
Okay.
next person.
Okay. All right. Good evening, John. My name is Deborah Shoyombo, and I'm a technical support engineer.
Thank you, Deborah. I mean, anybody can go. It doesn't have to be in an alphabetical order. Anyone?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm Sumaya Adenle, and I'm a quality assurance engineer.
Oh, Sumaya, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I believe the network is good enough, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like I want us to be very quick, right? So we won't spend the whole time introducing ourselves.
Hello. Yeah, my name
Yeah,
is Richard
hello.
Akikude. I'm a software developer and also a software tester. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Richard.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Evening. Yeah, Vivian. Good evening.
Okay, good evening. My name is Vivian Vincent. I am a Scrum Master.
Scrum. Wonderful.
Hi, good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, my name is Fumbi and I'm a software quality assurance engineer. Thank you.
Great.
Hi, good evening. My name is Aina Victor. I'm a software tester.
Software tester. Wonderful. Nice to meet you, Fumbi. Nice to meet you. I know Victor.
Hi, I'm Tosin Williams. I'm a software tester.
Nice to meet you, Tosin Williams.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Ogunleye. I'm a product manager and a newbie to software testing.
A newbie. Nice to meet you, Sarah Ogunleye.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ukwa Victor. I'm a potential software tester.
Potential software tester. You're already a software tester, Mr. Victor. You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Adishegiri Motulai, and I'm a software tester.
Are you Nigerian?
Yes, I am.
Ajisegiri. What state, please?
Ajishegiri from Ogun State.
Ogun. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Sounded nice to meet you. Software tester. Okay. All right. So we have extra 6 more minutes. We'll start exactly by 6:20. So if you haven't spoken, you have the floor now, just for us to catch up with ourselves, of course, before we begin.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm Fumi Odutayo, a software tester.
Hello, Fumi. Nice to meet you. You're
nice
welcome.
to meet you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Adebinke Adeni, a software tester.
Good evening, Adebinke. You're welcome. Almost everyone here is a software tester. Good evening.
My name is Benjamin. I work as a hotel project specialist. Currently, software testing.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Mr. Obi. I think it's breaking. I couldn't hear anything you said.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello? I think, are you the one talking now? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to speak. So my name is Akim Adekoke.
Okay, Akim. Yeah, Akim Adekoke.
I'm a software testing engineer.
Software test engineer.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Nice to meet you, Akim.
Hi, good evening. My name is Bankole
Good
Mariam.
evening.
I'm a software tester.
Bankole Mariam. You're welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Usman Abdurrashid, a software tester. Thank you.
You're welcome, Usman. Nice to meet you. Hey, we have 4 more minutes. Are we all done?
Good evening.
No. Good evening.
I'm Abimbola Sampson, a software tester.
Welcome, Abimbola. You're welcome. Okay, I believe we're almost rounding up. Any other person?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. No.
Good
So
evening.
my name is Parkinson. I'm a QA engineer. Thank you.
Parkinson. You're welcome, Parkinson.
Thank you.
All right. I could still see some names I haven't spoken.
Good evening, everyone.
Basi. Yeah, good evening.
My name is Happiness. I'm a QA engineer.
You're welcome, Happiness.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Mary Bassi, and I'm a quality assurance engineer.
You're welcome, Mary Bassi. You're welcome. All right. Okay. All right. Is that all?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Ben, and I'm a QA analyst.
Welcome, Ben. Nice to meet you.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good
My name is
evening.
Gamba Usman. I'm a product quality assurance engineer.
Good. You're welcome. Okay. I believe that should be all, right? Okay. So thank you all for your introduction. It was nice hearing from you all. Mostly, if I would say, 80% of everyone are already into tech. 80% of you are software testers. So it means we are not new into this topic. It means we already have an idea of what we'll be talking about, right? And if for any reason you don't understand, please call my attention, right? Call me. I'll be very glad to stop and go back to the topic or whatever thing I've said so you can gain clearer understanding. Now, just before we continue, my name is John, and I don't consider myself a very great person here. I feel everyone is equal, so don't be shy. Call me, text. You can always drop your messages in the comment section. I'll read them, and if I can't, you can always use the raise hand icon so we don't distract ourselves. You might want to mute yourself, and if you have any question, just use the raise hand icon. Of course, I would definitely see it. If I don't see it, you can someone who is the class rep, please. Is there a class rep or someone who
Yeah,
heads? Okay.
yes, I
Okay.
was asked to do that job.
Oh, you, Mr. Dari, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So in case you see anyone who, of course, don't understand or wants clarity on something, if they use the raise hand icon, just
Okay.
unmute yourself and call my attention, please.
Okay,
All right.
that's fine.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. So we'll begin. So, like I said, we'll be talking about SDLC. Most of you all are already into the development aspect of tech. Some of us are into the project management, Scrum, and software testing. So yeah, SDLC is a familiar word to all of us. Okay, so but before we begin or diving deeper into SDLC, this is software testing. You can't learn software testing without knowing the very basic. But before we delve into software development lifecycle, which is the SDLC, we must understand why the need for SDLC or why the need to even begin with SDLC in the first time. I mean, in the first, in the first approach of it all. First of all, let's take for instance, we have a project. Let's say me for a person, I want to buy a car, and I started planning on what I'm going to save every month. Let's say I started planning to save, let's say 100K every month. It's going to take me maybe 2 years or more. Okay. Okay, I think I just lost power. Hold on. If you don't mind, let me just, switch my camera. All right, so let's continue. Can you all still hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
good.
can.
Good. So you were going to start off by, first of all, writing down your project or your plan in a piece of paper to understand clearly what you're about to save. Whether you want to start saving 200K, of course, you're not going to go above it because you must have had another expenses after saving off 200K from your basic salary or from whatever source of income you're making. So that document will serve as a guide, would help you, be able to save up to leave the certain amount so you can be able to purchase that car, right? Hello? Correct. Now, you also would start. Hello? Is someone saying something?
No one.
Okay, all right. You could just help me mute, it's fine. So you also start, different approach on how to, get this car. Probably what you want to do is to pay outright payments, probably at the end of the whole saving period or the whole saving duration, you pay all at once, or you will be paying them instrumentally. So whatever approach you want to use, the first thing is, first of all, you have a document or a sheet of paper that you call your plan, right? The same way it is in every software development project. Before SDLC can be applied in any, institute, company, or any form, you must first have a project. What is a project? A project is basically a temporal endeavor that has a defined a defined start and a defined finish, just temporal, it's something you want to do over time to be able to achieve a goal, right? And now SDLC is basically the approach you use, okay, make sure that that project is successful, that your plan is successful. Like I mentioned with the example I gave, I want to save up money. I would, write down a sheet of paper. I'll write down some things in my sheet of paper. I'll start saving up, maybe to 200K every month. And this is my plan, right? Then I would, of course, commit to this plan. Then at the end of the day, I'll make payments and get the car. That means my plan has been successful, right? So this project, if you can see on my screen, it says, change is essential for the success or survival for any organization. Of course, for an organization to excel, something must happen. There must be an application that gives value, okay?
Sorry, we
You
can't see
only
your screen.
patronize.
We
You
can't see
can't
your
see my
screen.
screen?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I'm sorry. Let me know if you can see it now. Really, really sorry. I thought I was sharing. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. All right. So for an organization, the first thing you need is to have a project. A project could be to develop, a software application that helps people in making transfer. Let's say a payment application. Let's use a very popular one, like your mobile app for payments and all. So that is the first project we all have. Okay. So when you start this very project, you need some people to get your project done. We'll get to that. So why is project necessary? You say, okay. So it says here, for an organization to be successful, they will recognize the need for a change, wherever required, define the change, articulate clearly and reason for this change. Okay, create a plan on how to achieve this change, convey a team to deliver the change. So projects are born out of agreed need for change. Okay. Also, we have here, it says a project is a specific cost and time-bound set of interrelated activities undertaken to accomplish a specific, clearly defined goals. The same way I said, projects are usually very short time, right? They have a defined start and a defined finish. Okay, so you cannot just start up a project that is everlasting, that runs, on a continuous loop. No, you must have what you're starting with. You must have a plan. You must have things that would help you achieve this plan. And then you clearly understand, okay, all these requirements you need, then you embark on the journey, on the project, and then you execute it. The same way would be, explaining SDLC in this format. So here again, it says, for a project to be successfully delivered, its goal, it will require the following: a manager, a management process, a team. Of course, there must be someone who would understand the vision of this project, okay? And there must be someone who would organize every other development team to keep them, together to be able to deliver exactly what is required of them. And that person, in most cases, in our project, is called the project manager. So whenever you join a new team, you probably must have seen projects, a project manager. So for some of us that said they are project managers, of course, this won't be a new thing to them because they know exactly what the task requires of them is to manage projects, see that every team are managed throughout the whole, development period. Okay, so if you don't understand, please just let me know so I can give clarity. Yeah, it says managing the project. It says within the project management landscape, the systems development lifecycle is employed as part of the overall project objective to build and deliver applications or system that addresses specific business need, problems, or what opportunities. Of course, anything we are building must be something that people can patronize. Is either is solving problems or it is an opportunity or is a business need. Of course, if I ask you all, what need or what problem is your mobile app solving? Many of you will tell me different things. Says, of course, the stress, reducing stress. Are there other ways to make payments? Yes, you have to walk into the bank, but can I do it at the comfort of my house? Yes, I can. Through what? The mobile app. And this is what businesses look out for. What can they do that will solve problems? Somebody came up and decided to create a mobile application that can help you order your food, right? Right from the vendor that makes it and delivers to you. We have these applications as Child Deck. We have what other platform? Glovo. We have Child Deck. We have Glovo. We have so many of them out there. Now, why do we use these applications? Of course, because they've addressed some basic needs and people are now patronizing it. And that is the project on its own, right? So without going deeper into all these things, I'm sure we are understanding the need where SDLC development and every other person come in. There must be something each person is contributing or each person is embarking on. So these are all projects, right? You have an application to build that makes transfers, that help you order things and all those stuff. All those are applications. And that is the need where that is where we start, the whole process of development, testing phase, and all those phases, which we'll get to. Okay, but firstly, we are understanding how this whole thing comes about. So here it says the system development lifecycle is an agreed standardized approach used within projects for building applications or systems. It is used as a guide in managing and delivering of any type. Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was not muted. Apologies.
Oh, okay. So it says it is used as a guide in managing the delivery of any type of application or system. Now, let's move into the importance of software development and testing. Remember, we started with the project first of all. Why do we even need to even start development and testing? First of all, someone must own an idea that is addressing a need. Okay, it could be your mobile app, it could be your Jumia, your e-commerce application, anything that has to do with software application. Somebody wants to build this. The person is not a developer, but he has the idea. And when this person speaks to a project manager, to somebody who understands, who is a professional, excuse me, in handling business projects, organizing people, managing work timelines, schedules, budgets, okay, and all these things. Then the project manager understands and be in his vision, and then start organizing the right team to be able to bring this man's idea, into what? Reality. And that's the very first step. Can everybody hear me? That's the first step we
Yes, we
are all going to start with. Good. Now, let's move into the importance of software development and testing. Number one, Why is it important for us to develop application, or why is it important for us to test an application? There you have it, it says ensures software quality. Then it says testing ensures that the software meets specified requirements, is free of critical bugs and functions as intended. It is free of critical bugs and functions as intended. What are bugs? Bugs is, of course, anything that will make an application not function as it should function. And now this only affects the code base. Do you understand? So if, for instance, you have an application, you're trying to, let's say you're trying to log in, for instance, you entered your credentials, maybe name and password, you're clicking the login button, it is not logging, or it just keep rolling. You could say that is a bug. And it is very critical because I can access the application. And the way I'm having issues as a customer, the same way, thousands or millions of users out there would experience the same thing. So it is critical. It has impacted the application, and application will not make profit for that day. And of course, people will complain. Some people will even go as far as debating or writing bad comments. So the first thing we must ensure is what? Ensure software quality. Software must be built. It must be free from defects. Now, if you read this part very well, it says something very interesting. It says, testing ensures that the software meets specified requirements. Okay, we'll get to that when we move deeper into SDLC, but understand the overview of why all these things are important. Okay, now the second one says, enhances user experience, identifies and resolves usability issue, ensures a seamless and intuitive experience for users. This boosts user experience, this boosts user engagement and loyalty. Users are not inclined to, applications that has defects. I remembered one time when they said, was it OP? OP had an issue. Everyone started, going off OP. They stopped using OP. Was it OP or CUDA? I can't really remember. There was a particular app, everybody started spreading news that, oh, this app is not good. Everybody, even me, it happens to me. If you hear any, maybe let's even not use an app that is very popular. Let me use MMM for example. Excuse me. Let's use MMM for example. You invested your money this month, the next month you invested, and you heard that the application crashed. Of course, you never want to invest again because it is not reliable, right? So people do not like to invest or use applications that are defective. If you're a developer or a tester, you are only the one that knows what is wrong. But out there, it is a threat to them. Do you understand? So therefore, we have to ensure that whatever thing we are doing, we must consider the business interest first by ensuring the test application in-out. You're checking every aspect of it to ensure there are no defects found or bugs found in the application. Now, this third point here says saves time and cost. Now, fixing defects early during development is far less costly than addressing them after deployment. It also reduces the risk of costly downtime or failure. Now, what does this mean? When you're testing the application in real time and you catch a bug or find any defect, it is easier to fix it. It is less expensive to fix it within that time. But the moment this application goes out, fixing will become costlier. Exactly the same thing I mentioned. When an application is faulty or it doesn't, act well, you get tired of it. Maybe the first day you used it, you had issue, you complained. The second day you had issues, or maybe you worked for that week after two errors you observed. Then the next week it started acting up again. Of course, you'll be tired of it. You want to use an alternative. And that is why we say fixing defects early is far more less costly than addressing them after deployment. Then fourth point here, we have strengthening security, helps identify vulnerabilities and potential security threats, ensure ensuring the software is robust against breaches and data leaks, which is critical in today's digital landscape. Okay, now we've learned the importance of software development and testing. Does anyone have any questions?
No, for now.
I hope it's not only for my end. I can't hear him again.
Same here too. I can't hear him.
Is Udemy still on the call with us? Can you help us find out what happened to John?
Hello? Apologies. That was my network.
Okay.
Please, can you all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
My sincere apology. Trying to join on my system. Give me a moment. Yeah, so please, does anyone have any question pending when I join? I'm actually joining on my system right now. Any question at the moment? Yeah, give me a moment. I'm on my phone right now, so I'm trying to join on my system. Just give me a moment. So pending then, does anyone have any question on what we've been talking so far? If no question, that means I'm a good teacher then. All right, just give me a moment.
Sorry, is it just me or I can't hear John?
No, I was thrown out by network, so I'm trying to rejoin again.
Yeah, okay, you are in already.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, actually. I quickly just joined from my phone. So I'm joining from my system right now.
Okay.
Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah, Sergeant, while you are doing that, somebody left a message for you on the in-call chat.
Okay. Yeah, so it says for the security, how do software testers get to avoid vulnerable risks to the organization? Okay, you would learn how they do when we delve deeper. Just give me a moment. Apologies, guys. Okay, so I think I'm rejoining right now. I had to, work on my network. All right. Please, can everybody hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Can you all hear me now? I hear noise. I think you can hear me. All right. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. So yeah, apologies again. So this was where we are. All right. So yeah. Okay. So we established some facts here. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So we established some facts here. Now we understand the importance of testing and development. First of all, we talked about project. We said project is a primary endeavor that has a defined start and finish. We looked at what is necessary for a project to be successful. So we said we need a manager, we need a management process, and we need a team. Okay, now we move on to, let's assume at this point, we've understood all what we are saying about project. Now there is a project. A rich man wants to build a mobile application. How would they do it? Firstly, the rich man will engage with someone who is a professional that handles business management or project management. He's a project manager, a PM, and he's going to explain his ideas to this PM. Now, mind you, the project manager's main objective is to make sure that the application that this rich man wants to build is managed properly, starting from the finish point to every other development process, whether testing and all the development process, down to the deployment stage. Now, this rich man, of course, all businesses are set up to make profits, true of us. True, right? So he needs also a business analyst who is going to support him by adding business values and business rules to the project, to the software application. The very first stage is a planning stage in the SDLC. So, what is an SDLC first of all? An SDLC simply stands for Software Development Life Cycle. It is a structured and systematic process used by software developers to plan, design, build, test, and deploy high-quality software. The SDLC aims to produce software that meets or exceeds customers' expectation, is delivered on time and within budget, and can be maintained and updated easily. The typical stages of the SDLC includes the following, which we'll be talking about. So this is the diagram that speaks, this diagram just represents what and who will be working in the development life cycle.
Sorry, please, who will be able to get this slide later?
You want to get my slide, eh? Okay, I'll think about it. I mean, I'm just kidding. I'll definitely give you the slide. Okay? Is that okay?
Okay, it's fine, it's fine.
All right. So at the very beginning, the rich man or the businessman or the business entity, just take this scenario for it so you can have a better understanding. He's going to engage with this project team and the dev teams. So he's going to call the project manager, the business owner, different people in different fields, so he can explain the ideas to them. At that very stage, it is what we call the planning stage. In most cases, when you go online and you search SDLC phase, the first thing you get to see is a requirement gathering. Of course, it is part of the planning stage. So at that stage, they are planning because it is the man, the business owner, he is the only person with the sole idea. He is the only one that has the idea he has the idea or the overall idea of what he wants to build. But he's not a technical person. So he needs somebody who is going to build it and monitor the process of all this, all this development. So the very first stage is what we call the planning stage. This is where they plan, they have meetings, stakeholder meetings, they gather the requirements. So as they are talking about the project, someone will be coming up with ideas and they'll be jotting down, some few things. And when they jot, they will add all those things later on after they finish that meeting. But the very first initial stage, we know it as what we call the requirement gathering. At this point, the business, the ideas is not fully known, but it is being established. It is after the requirement gathering that they will now go back and now, prepare a whole lot of documents. Then the documents will be prepared in most cases by the business analyst. Now, the business analyst is going to put more insight. The project manager basically will be, his own mind is speaking a different language. What language is it? His mind is speaking on how do they create an effective application based on the requirement of this business owner. Business owner said, for instance, let's build a mobile application. So his mind is okay. Users will log in. When they log in, they will see a pop-up button, a pop-up notification message that says login successful. So the project manager is thinking in the application aspect, how effective the application would work. But the business analyst is thinking of how impactful, how relevant, and of course, if the business can make profits. That is the aspect the business owner will be thinking. There are more to these things, but I'm just giving you guys an understanding. So the application will make transfer, yes, but after it makes transfer, the user will be debited a percentage of amount for using the application. Okay, then the amount they are being charged will come into the profit account. So this is what the business analysts will be thinking. And then they have what we call the business rules, which of course they will add after creating different documents. Documents will be sent from the project management and all. Then they will now create a comprehensive document. And that comprehensive document will now become our BRD. Do you all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Good.
Yes,
So thank you. So after everybody in that in that gathering or in that meeting finalized with their requirements, they create the BRD. You can have the BRD in form of a PRD. There was a time when I worked with a telecoms company and I saw PRD. Then I never knew there was anything called PRD. So I wanted to know the difference. So this could be maybe an extra, just for knowledge. So I asked my manager, made some research, some research. What is the difference between a BRD and a PRD? So a BRD is business requirement document. PRD is also product requirement document. They are not different. They are not different actually. They are the same thing. But it seems like when you're into I don't know, you can also make research, so you go make research and come back and tell me. So I believe, or I found out that if you're into the business aspect, maybe you're delivering services, you develop what we call a business requirement document. But if you're producing something, you make a document in form of a PRD. Of course, we are open to learning. Let's go make research, difference between BRD and PRD. The next class we're having will be on Wednesday. I'm going to ask. Okay? So they are the same thing, right? So don't just beat your, will I have to learn another thing? No, it's quite very easy. So this is the very first stage. And as a tester, you probably might be opportune or privileged to join this meeting in the requirement gathering. Very, very important. They also need your opinion. What do you think? What do you think this thing will do? So from your experience, you can give input, okay? Then you can also attend this kind of meeting called the requirement. You can also attend this type of meeting in the requirement gathering. Then when this VRD is built, of course, created, it will be shared amongst all the dev teams, okay? But we are going to talk about SDLC later on, but let's focus on SDLC. Then the next stage is the design stage. So now the requirement has been created and has been shared. Then the available team will pick up this requirement, go through it, make sure they analyze it, understand what it's saying, and they start creating what we call, the Figma design. There are other design they create. What's that thing called? I think I've forgotten. When I remember, I'll tell you. We have one called Figma. A Figma design that looks like an image of exactly how the website will look like after it is built. So when you're passing through a construction site, you'll see that when you pass, you see maybe a poster or a banner that tells you the exact thing you would experience or that will be created or that will be built. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. You see a poster, a picture that will show the exact thing that is meant to be built or that will be built in future. Has anyone come across something like that before in a construction site?
Yes.
Exactly. That kind of picture here, it is known as Figma design. I can show you a few, but I don't know if I'm permitted to do so. But of course, just go online. Some of you that don't understand, you could just just check through Google Figma design. I should have created one sample image for you, but maybe that will be in the next class since I didn't have it saved in this document. So there's this next stage, they will have every other design built, okay, and prepared. You understand? And there's going to be a lot of back and forth. Now, testing, of course, have started because your testing started at the very beginning of your requirement gathering. You were there, you were part of the meeting, you contributed, you gave inputs, the listing, and now document has been created. Now you will now go and then you use your document, you start reading it very well. Meanwhile, the next stage after the requirement is what we call the system design. In this system design, they start formulating everything like building the UI. The UI simply means user interface of the home page or of the authentication page, maybe the sign in or the sign out. They start creating the authentication, they start adding some things, and then you start checking. At that point, they only create Figma view. Do you understand? Like I said, the Figma view. Before, when it's been approved, it moved into what we call the building stage, implementation stage. So if you don't want to call it build, you say implementation stage. Okay? Then you move from implementation stage into what we call the testing phase. And from testing phase, deployment phase, and maintenance. So we have these 6. Sometimes you could go online, you see 7. So how does it become 7? How is it 7? You will see planning stage before requirement gathering. So whatever one, you can say it from the beginning, you plan, of course, this whole story I've mentioned is the same thing. Do you understand? And if you check below this diagram, you will see where I wrote who is who within the project. So all these are PM. So the PM, who is the project manager, functions here, the requirement gathering stage. BA, business manager, business analyst, any business people, they function here in the requirements. Are we together, guys? Now we have people they call SMEs. Now, because of experience, if I just mention this thing, you will not understand. Sometimes there might not be a requirement for you to work with. It has happened in several cases, even for me, in different organizations I've worked with, requirements may not be sufficient or may not be available. So who are these SMEs? SME simply stands for subject matter expert. They are the users of the application. So let's say, for instance, a bank wants to upgrade their application. Maybe they want to upgrade their application and they didn't give you, or maybe you have a module that falls under your requirements. You're required to test a module and they say test the open account and maybe it's test a savings account and they didn't give you any requirements. SMEs are like your tellers, customer service officers, cash officers, all those people that use these applications on a daily basis. So this is like an interview question, right? So mark it down. So in the absence of requirements, how do you test an application? You can, of course, engage with SME to gain better understanding. That is one point. Engaging with SMEs gives you a wider understanding of what the application does on a regular basis. Are we communicating, guys? So in this requirement gathering, SMEs are also very important because they are the ones that use this application aside the technical people that build. They use this application on a daily basis. They know the problem, they know, they know the issues they've been facing. So of course, SMEs also play a major role in requirement gathering. Then when you come to the system design, you have the technical security architect, you have the solution technical architect, and you have who we call the database architect. So all these people will work in line with the requirements to build or create a solution. So at that point, they would also be working to create the Figma view, they create all those technicalities that will be essential for the build. Okay, then we move into the building stage or implementation. Now we have created the Figma view. It has been signed off. At that point, they will determine the colors they will use. Okay, and you can also check it. You check it if this stuff makes sense. It will be passed on to the appropriate approvals. The business owner will look at the Figma. Oh, if it doesn't look like what he wants, he can make some corrections. Just like when you see the image of maybe let's say skyscraper. In that skyscraper, if they send that image, if the CEO or the owner of the business, we didn't agree for a skyscraper now. I think you're mistaken. It was 3-bedroom we spoke about. So if there's an error in any of the design phases, they would correct that error at that point. So that is where the design is. And of course, like I said, testing begins at the very beginning, which is your requirement gathering. Testing does not begin later. It starts at the requirement gathering process, okay? So that is where you sit, communicate, ensure, because why does testing begin at the requirement gathering? Does anyone know? Does anyone have any idea? Okay, now we can speak actually. Let it not just be the only one talking.
Sorry, I think testing requirements starts from requirement gathering because I feel it is the tester at some point knows the product or the project more than even the developer.
Okay, who's speaking? Who's speaking, please? What's your name?
This is David speaking.
Okay, David.
So I think most time the testers, they actually have a greater knowledge and idea to contribute to the requirements. They see beyond human comprehensive understanding actually.
Okay.
Can I chip in now?
Thank you so much, David. Of course, please go on.
I think testers are aware because first you need to know what you are testing. Don't just go blind, start testing anything. You need to know what you are testing. I need to know the end goal, what you want to achieve after testing the product. So you don't go and start testing what after 6 months discover that you were doing the wrong thing, then you start all over again. So I think they are needed in the requirement gathering also to know what they are going to do.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't catch your name, but
Philip.
Wonderful. Okay, Philip. Yeah, wonderful.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's basically for clarity. So they don't just come and dump something and are doing testing. It's easier to be able to understand the project from whilst they were even gathering this information, so that as you go down the steps in either SDLC or STLC, you know what each of the statement or each of the or what the products actually mean. So it gives you clarity and it also saves time, because when it gets to testing stage, you really want to understand the product, you're taking time. So whilst they are still going about gathering all the information, it also helps you prepare too, so that when it gets to your turn, if they are doing waterfall kind of SDLC, when it gets to your turn, it's easier for you to just churn out your product, churn out your tests and bugs or everything you need to churn out at the right time.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Perfect. And I mean, that's it. Everything you all said are correct, actually. Testing is increased very, very much required at the early stage, because you need to understand the project you are embarking on. You need to understand what the business has in mind to do. So when you're seated in that gathering, of course, there will be a lot of suggestions, there will be a lot of back and forth. Then you gain insight, okay, from what everyone has said. And if you can contribute, it means you understand. So definitely you understand exactly what you're getting yourself into. So now that a Figma, a design phase has been created or is ready, from your experience in the requirements, you now understand areas where you should look out for. Imagine the business agreed that, oh, we'll have a wallet account. Some accounts, you can actually save your money on that app, right? Now, if they agree to it in the meeting, and while you were checking all the Figma, you did not find the account, or it was there in the requirements, and you cannot see it in the design, that means there's a problem. And then you start raising concerns. You, of course, raise concern, you'll be like, guys, something is going wrong. We spoke about this. How come it wasn't there? Now you see, because you understand where the business is heading to. You understand everything that was discussed. So testing is very, very required to save time, cost, and also to gain meaningful insights, okay, about what the business is all about. Thank you so much, everyone that spoke. You guys. So does anyone have any question around SDLC at this present time? I mean, everything we've said so far, do you understand, or you feel there are some things you don't understand? Don't be shy, just take your time, ask questions. Let's see if we'll be able to answer your questions. Anybody? Okay, so it means everyone understood, right?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Great. This is very great. Now, don't get yourself too worked up about, don't get yourself worked up too much about all these people. You don't have to cram them. They are very much not necessary. Though you can have an idea of who and who work in different phases of development, but really, that is not very important. The most important thing is for you to understand the flow. Okay? If you can understand the flow, how it flows, remember, there must be someone who has an idea, who is always a business person. His own aim is just to make money. He wants to solve a problem, and he wants to start up a project. Now he needs somebody to, help him actualize that reality, to help him, bring that idea into what a reality. He engages with a project manager and every other dev team. He explains his idea to them, and they start documenting. In fact, in the meeting, you see some of them, they will jot down something so that they will not forget. Or some of them will even put a recorder to record so that they can play back in their free time. Because at that point, the idea is not fully formed. So the very first stage is what we call the requirement gathering. We gather every useful information we need at that point to enable what? To enable us have a perfect roadmap to what we're about to do. Okay? And after we fully gathered our requirements, okay, we will now, the project team will go back and create a document from the requirement, from everything they've said in the meeting. They will create a requirement, a document rather, called a BRD. Okay? Now, it is a project manager that defines the kind of, now let me give you guys this tip. The project manager actually defines the methodology that will be used in conducting the development process. Yes, there are some. We have, of course, we have different type of method now. We have waterfall, we have agile, we have V model, different types of method. But the most popular ones is waterfall. I'm sure everyone knows waterfall now. Okay, even if you don't know waterfall is a methodology used to, conduct, uh, used to, how will I put this now? It's actually a methodology that we use, okay, to, should I say to conduct, or should I say to approach the SDLC? So how do we, how do we, I'm looking for the right word to use.
Can I help out?
Okay, yeah, please go on.
All right, so for those who are new, if is there anyone that has seen a waterfall before? Pictures, videos, Instagram, anywhere on social media, right? There's a way it flows. It flows in a sequence, right? There's a higher plane and then there's a lower plane where the water moves from a higher surface and goes down to the lower place, right? That's the picture of a waterfall. So it's not like it's a level body of water. There's usually a water coming from a higher region that then falls down to a lower region. So how does that affect SDLC? Okay, I see it in the slides now. You can see the image being displayed. It means that in this style of software development, you need to first finish one step before you can start the next. It is after the requirements is done and completed that the output of requirements then falls into the next step, which is design. So you'd see that it is a style of software development, and I see it's already in John's slide, so he would elaborate on
Yeah.
it. But just to explain that or add more context as to why it's called waterfall, you see the progression of it. It means that the output from one stage is what is going to be used as input for the next stage. That next stage uses the input, creates its own output, and the output of design now becomes input of development. So it falls one step at a time. You can't jump from requirements to testing. It has to follow this order from one step to the other, stepwise.
Okay. Thank you so much, Udeme. Actually, that is exactly what I was about to say, and she just helped me out. So if you understand everything she has said so far, this is the diagram here. And basically what I wanted to say was in methodology actually is just like the way they would approach the development process, right? So each project has a defined methodology. It has a unique way they are being tested. So let me give you an example. When you want to make a cake, for instance, what will be the first thing? I don't know, I'm not a caterer, but I know you mix all your ingredients, right? When you mix the sugar, the flour, the everything, then you start to like bake them, right? You start to mold them into shape, right? Okay, am I correct? Then there is to get to a point where you add maybe the chocolates, I don't know, when you add, then you start to shape it, right? If you want it to be a silicone shape, if you want it to be a square shape, rectangle shape, you start shaping it, then you start adding the icing layer. That is the icing, that's like the outer layer to beautify it. Now, let's take for instance, you forgot to add butter and you've already finished the icing. Like you've beautified it, you've made it and everything. Can you go back and then add? Can you do that? Can you go back and add it? Hello?
No.
Of course. You
No,
won't
no,
be
you
able to add. Of course, exactly. The answer is no, actually. Thank you so much. You won't be able to add it. Why? Because at the point where you're supposed to add it was when you were mixing the whole thing together, isn't it? So the same way, if you're building a house you map out your plan. You've been able to say, okay, 3-bedroom here, each bedroom has a toilet, but you mistakenly left one bedroom without a toilet. Can you redo it again? After you've gotten to the lintel level, like after you've gotten to the roofing, can you like redo it at that point? Of course not. You have to like make the whole plan again, isn't it? No one is talking. Are we lost?
Yes, we get you.
Wait, is it yes you're lost or yes you get me?
We get you. We understand you, sir.
Okay. Now let me give you
Thank you, sir.
some application. Okay, good. Let me give you some application you cannot be, it would be very difficult to use other of course I'm not teaching this, but I just want us to have an idea. I mean, we'll come back to this later. We have agile, we have B model, we have waterfall. Now, for an application to use waterfall, it means that all the components, all the application, the system must be delivered. Everything must be delivered first without moving into the next phase. For instance, in the requirements, we must talk about everything we want to do. If we miss out anything, it means we start all over again from the example of the cake. Abi? Now, if we finally get all the requirements, we are doing the design, we'll focus on the design and finish it, right? Then we'll move into what? Deployment. We will now focus, sorry, not deployment, into the build. We'll now develop everything and then we'll deliver every component, every part of the application, and then we'll move into testing. Now, why is this thing like this? It's because some applications, you cannot deliver them using agile methodology. Take, for instance, your let's say a banking application. Have you ever seen a bank that you can only save your money, but you cannot withdraw? Yeah? Have you seen a bank where you can only save in your money, but you cannot withdraw? But when you go to save, it saves, so it gives you an alert that you've saved, but you cannot withdraw. Anybody? Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah, but no one is answering. No, it bothers me because I'm not on your
So
screen.
we are
I'm
trying,
actually
we are, before we get to unmute and talk and mute again, it's
okay. I think Paul. Where is Paul? Where is the class rep, Paul?
is that a Parkinson?
Okay, but now I don't know if you get the point now. So you may not be able to deliver. Okay, are you saying something?
You called my attention, so I was saying I'm here. I was saying back.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to, I mean, unmute, give us response in case, I mean, if someone is chatting and all those stuff, yeah.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are actually with you, very much with you.
Okay, good. So ask the question. Have you seen a bank where you can only save in your money, but you cannot withdraw, you cannot make in transfer and all? Of course, you've not seen because it's not possible, right? Everything must be complete, isn't it? So this waterfall is saying that all components, all part of the modules, anything that the application needs to function must all be ready, must all be what? Developed. That is what this particular methodology is saying. And if you check it, the banking application, you have a lot of functionality. You have functionality to paying money, to saving money, to withdraw, to transfer, to perform a fixed deposit, name it, a whole lot of things. To print ATM card, there's like a third-party integration between another app to, all these things are all the functionalities. Of course, you cannot release some of them and work on some of them. People will be dissatisfied. Somebody's mic is on mute. Do you want to say something? If not, please mute so that, yeah. Thank you. So does it make sense now? So at this stage, you finish one stage, move into the next. It is just a methodology. It's just a method. Forget the English or the grammar. It's just a method of starting or processing this SDLC that talks about the building of application, testing and verifying the application is quality and reliable before it gets to deployment. This is just a methodology and it is called waterfall. Good. And of course, we'll talk about other methodology. It's very, very easy. We don't need to, we use storylines and we understand them very well. Agile is simply talking about application, you build them small you build them bit by bit. Then you deploy something that people can be using pending when you upgrade them. So let's give, for instance, you have your iPhone. When you bought your iPhone, you can make call, you can chat people, you can always make anything you want to make. Then suddenly you get update you get an alert for updates. So has you gotten any alert for update before?
Yes.
That you need to upgrade exactly. Agile is just like that sense. They will give you an application, it will be running. So it means that the application that is currently running does not impact users' experience. You can use it, but just that we'll develop and upgrade into a better usability for you. Okay? And that's why sometimes when you see what is new or the updates, they will tell you they've customized some things, you can add some features. Now, before, if you can only call, now you can call and add a call recorder. Do you understand? So this is Agile. It helps you deliver your project to MVP, then incrementally, like bit by bit. It is flexible because in bit by bit, we can always design and implement new features on top of the existing features. Then you will start seeing it as update your system to be able to get the latest feature. Does it make sense? That is Agile. Are we together? Then
Yes,
we have, good. We have V-shaped model. V-shaped model is synonymous to waterfall. It is just, slightly different. Now in this waterfall, remember, this one speaks to everything must be concluded. We took one example. We said banking application. You cannot have one function work and the rest will not work. Agile will not work for it. I'm sure it makes sense now. Why? Okay. But if I'm building an e-commerce application may not necessarily need you to log in or sign up. True or false? You just see goods you like, you just order directly. Does it make sense? Some application does not need you to log in or sign in. True or false? You could literally just purchase items as a guest. Am I correct?
Yes.
So with time, they start implementing some feature, maybe due to some complaints that, okay, people are trying to, scam people. There's a lot of, security threats. So people will start implementing security features, authentications. And that is when you now see that the application is existing, it is running, but they are still building it. They will just, migrate some new features into it. In that method, the method you currently use or you're expressing is what we call Agile. It simply states that all the English you want to read, just know this. They will deliver you a working application, a working system, then they will just add new features into it. Okay? Meaning the system is existing, then you can incrementally add new features and it is very flexible. This, you can never, release any part of it. If you're working, everything must be developed. Then testing must follow suit. One stage must be completed first before moving into another stage. This V-shape is saying that at every stage, testing must be performed. At every stage, testing must be what? Must be performed. So if you move into this requirement stage, you must conduct testing. Move into this design phase, you must conduct testing. Move into the development stage, you must conduct testing. So at every stage, this shape called this V model is saying at every stage, testing must be performed. Good. Now we understand. Now back to what we were talking about, so you can have a clearer understanding. So at this stage of your requirement gathering, they define the methodology based on the project type. So now they've gotten the kind of, requirement, the kind of project they are working on. It could be a banking application, it could be a mobile app, it could be. So if the application does not support Agile methodology, of course, it will be changed to what? Waterfall. Does it make sense now? So in the requirement stage would be where the method will be determined. Okay, and then you move into the next phase, building testing, deployment, and all. Now we've talked about what SDLC is. I'm sure everyone knows what SDLC is now. It's very easy. It's just saying that it's a structured and systematic process. Remember, it is a process of software development. It is used by the development team to plan, design, build, test, and deploy high-quality application or high-quality software. Does it make sense? Now we have another example here below. It says the SDLC consists of several stages that guide the development of software from conception to deployment and maintenance. The specific steps may vary depending on the development methodology used. We have example, Agile, Waterfall, and the rest. But the core stage generally include requirement gathering. We've talked about it. But when you check, it says gather the document, detailed requirement from stakeholders. Now, at this point, we are all putting ideas. They will jot them down. It is not your job as a software tester to gather requirements. No, yours is just to understand at that point. The relevant team, project managers and the BA would, figure that out, how to get you the requirement. Then you now go through it. Now you define the functionality used. So the man has said the application should be able to do this. Oh, okay, yes. For it to be able to be a payment application, meaning users must log in, they must register, create an account, log in, and they must be able to access their payment. So a lot of features will be there. So there you define the functionalities. Does it make sense? And then we move to the next stage here. It says develop a high-level system architecture. Create detailed specification for what? System component. And of course, we move on to what? The implementation. Now, implementation is the coding aspect. This is where you write all the script after each phases have been concluded. Okay? So if each stage is concluded, you move on to the next. Then you move into testing, where you find defects. And of course, you conduct different type of testing. I'm going to explain these different type of testing you conduct. Now, there are different levels of testing. The first level of testing you're going to conduct is what we call the BFT, or the basic functional testing. Don't worry, you understand. Then you conduct what we call the integration testing. Then you move into what we call the system testing, system integration, and user acceptance testing. Now, depending on your organization or institute, you can have a different name of what it is being called. Do you understand? But of course, we'll learn what this whole thing are called or what it does. Is there any confusion at this time? Any confusion, anybody?
No.
Good. Now, the kind of testing that you carried out before development is called what? Can someone tell us? You've heard of SDLC before, right? There's a testing we conduct before building the application. What is it called? Someone trying that. What?
I can try. I think static testing.
Wonderful. Static. That is wonderful. Now, why is it static? Remember, at that point, there is no moving, there is no functionality. It is only image. Remember, we said here in the design phase, we create what we call a Figma design, isn't it? True or false? Who remembers when we said we create a Figma design?
True.
And good. And Figmas are what? Graphical representation of how the website would look like in future, isn't it? Exactly. So if we are creating a Figma design, as a tester, what you go there to do is to check for the text. If they are writing Apple, for instance, Apple must be spelled correctly, A-P-P-L-E. The spacing in between text. Two words cannot be, cannot merge together. No, they cannot be too close together. You have to, raise defects for punctuation mark and commas, all those things. So you check for text, the colors, probably the headers is a blue color. Below the header, you are seeing green. Why is it green? You have to raise all these things. Now, always don't assume something is not a defect because you feel it's not a defect. always raise defects. Now, what do you even call a defect? A defect is simply a deviation from the design or from the BRD. I don't know if you understand. It's a deviation. BRD assets this. Your application or your design is saying something else. It's a deviation. So then you raise a defect. A defect doesn't necessarily mean that it is a bug. What is a bug, everybody? This is basically anything that makes application not respond or not function as it's meant to do. And majorly it attacks where? The coding aspect, true or false. Is the coding functionality now? It means the function is not working. Are we together? But a defect does not necessarily mean that there is a bug on the application. It could be that the BRD is not in line with what the design is speaking to, or the design is not saying the same thing the BRD is speaking to. Are we together? So the kind of testing you perform before development is called static. So here we check what is documented with what has been developed or with what has been created in the Figma. We compare them. When we are reading the functionalities for the login, it says user should be able to enter first name, last name. All those details are there under the acceptance criteria and all those things. Are they reflecting in the design? Of course, in the design, you'll see they'll put some sample, like a sample digits, sample value, so you can see how users can actually log in real world if the application was built. Okay, so all those things you compare with what you have in your BLD. Now, the reason why I'm spending more time in explaining this thing because it's very, very important. In most cases, when you go for interviews or any time you go for any, you must be able to present yourself well. I am very sure I am giving you guys, the right knowledge to be able to tackle these things. SDLC is a process of building an application. There are methodology used in building this application, which would only make sense to the context of the project, which we have explained. Waterfall has a different method. It says follow one phase, finish one phase before you move to the other phase. Agile is saying we'll deliver a phase for you in MVP, then incrementally implement more features. Okay. V-shaped is saying that, okay, we would create a phase. After a phase, we'll test it. After each phase, we'll test it. After each phase, we'll test it. And that is the difference. So depending on your project, if you find yourself in any institute or any company tomorrow, remember these things. This requirement stage, the SDLC phases we talked about, the kind of testing you conduct. Remember, we established a fact, testing begins at the where? Testing begins where? At the requirement gathering phase, okay? And we conduct what we call static testing before the build. Now, if static testing is what we conduct or what we do before the development is built, then what do we do after the development of application? What do we do? What kind of testing do we do?
Dynamic testing.
Wonderful. Dynamic testing. And dynamic testing is grouped in two major ways or two major forms. We have what we call the black box testing and the white box testing. So, like I said, don't overbeat yourself. It's just something you can understand, right? But you can, of course, you can have a piece of paper where you're writing all these things. Before the development, we do static testing because the image is just what we are confirming with the requirements. The BLD is built at the requirement stage and sent to every other person, okay? And we take up these requirements, compare with what the design has done or what the designer has done at that design stage, what has been done in design stage. Then when the application is being built, we move into a dynamic testing, okay? We have two forms of testing or two groups of testing. It is called the white box testing or the black box testing. You see, the white box testing is basically peculiar to the developers. And what do? After they build the application, it is working. To them, it is working. Of course, testers will still test, but it is working. They will now run a test on their own code. Now, this only happens in their code base. So what is white box testing? White box testing is a type of testing we do while confirming the internal code structure of the application to check if it is working in line with, our functionalities. That is white box testing. We don't perform white box testing, but there are two types of testing done after development. Developers will do their own called white box. normal white box testing. It is the kind of testing we do, confirming the internal code structure. Now we are checking inside the code now to check if the application is working or not. Then when this is not working, that is their own form of testing. When it doesn't work, they quickly fix it, ensuring that everything is working. Now it is peculiar to functionality. They are very, very peculiar about functionality. Then the second type of testing is called black box testing. And this is where the testers come in. Black box testing is grouped into three forms. We have the functional testing, non-functional testing, and we have maintenance. Now, functional testing here in the black box is where we don't check the code. Remember, white box check the code. When we come into testing, we don't check the code. Rather, we check the functionality in real time, meaning the application or the software that they've built. We are now going to check them. And I'm going to tell us some tricks on how to test if we have time. Okay, we'll look at how do we test. Remember, we are checking functionality. Firstly, you check if you're able to sign up, depending on the module you have been assigned. Sometimes they give you a module. Sorry, I'm trying to receive a call, but I'm trying to cut the call right now. Can you all hear me now, please? Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Please, am I too fast? I don't know. I've just been talking.
No, you're not.
Okay. I mean, am I making sense? It could be that I'm not fast, but I may not. Am I making sense? Are you guys
Yes,
understanding?
You are.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Well,
you are.
for
You're
me,
making
I'm
sense.
trying to. Hi, Mr. John.
Yes, Deborah, go on, please.
I'm actually new to software testing, so I'm still trying to like catch up with speed. Of course, for people that have kind of have idea before, you are just talking like with a normal speed, but I'm trying to catch up. That's just the truth from my end.
Yes,
But
it
it's
is
fine, you
very
can go
normal.
ahead.
It is very, very normal, Deborah. I mean, I would, if this is your first time or your second time, I won't even expect you to be very good, to be honest, because it takes a whole lot to master all these things. You don't master by cramming, you master by working. So if you don't have the feel of how this works in real time, yeah, there could be a little struggle, a little setback for you, for you. But of course, you can ask questions. I'll be in your, in your Slack channel for the rest of this period. So I am very much willing to assist you in any, questions you may have. And this is recorded, right? This section is recorded. Excuse me. So you can always, good. You can always request for the recording. So let's continue. So now the development has been done. They have built application. Now testing will commence. See, there are different kind of testing we perform at each level, but I'm going to explain very, very basic and understanding so you all can catch, everything I'm saying. Now, you're going to conduct what we call the black box testing. Like I said, black box is the kind of testing performed. We don't check internal code structure. I don't want to go into using big grammars. I'm using scenario based. We are not checking the code. Rather, we are checking the functionality. So you can define it any way you want to define. This kind of testing performed checking functionalities of application to confirm or verify reliability, quality, and stability. Any English you want to use. But understand that we are checking the functionality of the application that is being built. Now, in the application being built, we can perform different kind of testing. First of all, there is what we call exploratory testing. Now, there are various types of testing you can perform. But good, the application has been built. The first thing you will do is to first understand that application. Remember, the first time you interacted with this application was during your requirements when they were talking about it. If for any reason you were employed in an organization where you did not meet requirements in your time of employment, you only came in halfway when the company has started. They gave you the requirements so you can go through the requirement and understand, and you've documented test cases. Listen, at what point, let me ask this question. At what point do we document test cases? Let's try. There's no stupid answer. You saw me, I made a mistake a few minutes ago, so let's just try. Yeah, go on. Someone is speaking. Yeah, go on. At what point do you start writing your test cases?
After the build.
Sorry?
After the build.
After the build. Okay. Who else? Just
From
try that.
the requirement gathering.
From requirement
think
gathering.
I think you start from the beginning. That's the
Eh?
requirement.
The requirement gathering. The requirement gathering, that place is said since from that time they have the meeting about the product and the expectation. That's the requirement gathering. So you are writing of test cases that started from there.
Okay. Who else? I'll just take
Okay.
about one more, then we'll just move on. Yeah. Go on, go on.
Okay. To start writing test case, as at time I start planning to write the test case, like maybe it might just be a week, or when I join the meeting, just decide to, okay, from the requirement gathering, the design, everything, I can use that to write my test case.
Okay. Let me just make a scenario very clear. Let's imagine you did not join the requirement gathering. Let's have that sense. I mean, that mentality. You didn't join during requirement gathering. So at what point did you start writing test cases? Let's try.
After you've analyzed your requirements, I think you can, and you understand the requirements, you should be able to start writing test cases then.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
without
you.
the requirement gathering, for me, if I take the app, I will explore from A to Z, maybe from the login to the everything. So from that place, I can write a test case for each function of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Who
for me,
else?
I think from the design. Why I
Okay,
pick
from
design is
design.
because at the design part, you have that's stating where you said we should remove requirement gathering. I pick design because at design and you have a pictorial representation of what the app or wherever you're building should look like. So you can see where maybe a button is supposed to be, you'll see where a logo is supposed to be, and all of that. I think with that information, you can now start writing your test cases.
So so some people said from the analyzing the requirement, right? So if you chose analyze the requirement, let me just see your hand up. Don't worry, there's nothing, to be honest. I just want to, if you get it, you good, you get it. If you don't get it, we will learn. So if you choose from requirement analysis, just use the raise hand icon. Okay, one person. You people should support her now. Wait, I'm not saying support her, then now say the wrong thing now. All right. I don't catch you, Abby. All right. So how many people? Just 3 people. Wait, don't raise hand if you know it's not the answer. Don't support like that. Oh. I will yab you if I mean I won't yab you. I'm just kidding, but don't just okay. So we have 3 people. Deborah, Sochi, and Bassey with Augustina. Wait, you back. You guys are confusing me. Wait now.
Sorry, can you come again?
Required. So I said, okay, let me come again. I said, if you support that test cases, okay, if you support that test cases are written after requirement analysis, don't be shy. Don't be confused. Just use your raise hand icon. That's all. If it's test cases begins from requirement analysis, actually. Okay, so 4 people. Don't raise your hand if you're not part of them. So Sochi, Deborah, Augustina, Odukoya. 4 people. Mary Bassi, which one are you? Are you APC or PDP? Which one? All right. So 5 people. 5 people. Good. Now you can put down your own things. So you can put down your own. Thank you. So if you think test cases are written during design phase, raise your hand. Remember, you are not part of the requirements gathering. So during design phase, raise your hand. Deborah again. I can see your hand up, Deborah. Case. Deborah, I can see your hand up. You know you've raised hand for the first one. Okay,
Maybe she's standing for the 2.
No, she has put that hand. So just 2 people. Wait, so all of you, The rest, what are you guys speaking? Okay, 3 people. All right. So 3 people are raising their hands for design phase. 3 people. Okay, 4. Tosin Williams. Sorry. Ikediuba. Deborah.
Tibe.
Oh, Itibe. Sorry.
Yes.
Itibe, Deborah Agomu, and Sumaya, then Benjamin. So 4 people for design. Okay, good. All right. Now I believe every other person are for development. Okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you. 5 for it. 5 people after requirement analysis. 4 people for the design phase. Yeah, you can put your hands down now. I mean, I captured you guys already. Yes, Otibe, you can put your hand down. Yes, thank you. Now, for the last stage, which you all mentioned, Otibe, you can put your hands down. I can see your hand up. For the last stage, if you think writing test cases, test cases is done during the build stage, you raise your hand. I mean, I should expect almost all of you to raise up your hand. Okay, good. Just one person. Wait. I think some of you did not understand the question. I'm supposed to see like turn up now. You guys, yeah, are you shy? Yeah. Okay, so we just have 2 people or 3 people plus I know. Abby? Okay, 4 people. Now, you people, 1, 2, 3, believe. Okay, so you are supporting the motion for. So now, guys, okay, you can put your hands down. Actually, I want to share money. I'm giving out 5K today, right? To anyone that gets it right. So this one you people are doing. Actually, the answer is not at the design phase. It is between the build stage and requirement analysis. The answer is actually the requirement analysis.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah?
But at that stage, the test cases will not be like, let me say, refined, and it will be a little bit. It will be the test cases that will be writing from the. I know it starts from the requirement. After the requirement, you can start trying to write the test cases, but they will not be perfect as when it will be between the deployment and the build.
To not be perfect.
Yes, that's what I saw. That's what I think about.
Okay. Like I said, this is a learning class, right? Does anyone want to say something before I continue? You can say something if you have something to say.
Yeah, I think I want to say.
I want to say something.
Speaking? Wait, who is speaking first of all? I don't want us to, Okay, Philip. Okay, go on. Who is the next person that wants to talk? Someone was about to say something. Okay, yeah. Mary Bassi. So if you want to say something, just raise your hand, please. I'll give you chance and time to talk. Just raise your hand. Okay, I can see 3 people, 4. All right, good. All right, go on, Philip.
Okay. So the reason why the requirements start from the requirement gathering is the test case doesn't have to be perfect. You have to put into consideration what we want to do. If we do it this way, are we going to have the expected results? Okay. From there.
Wait, are you asking me or you are telling me? Sorry, I'm lost.
Okay, sorry.
Are you asking me or telling me?
No. I'm just saying it. To the public.
Oh, what did you say again? Sorry.
Okay.
Can you take that again?
Okay. I mean, the tech case starts from the requirement analysis because it doesn't have to be perfect like the other guy was asking. I forgot his name.
Okay. You are giving solution to
Yes, I'm giving solution to his question.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, Mary Bassi, you're the next on my list. Everyone will talk. Go on, Mary Bassi.
Okay. So why be requirement gathering stage that the test case should be built? So ideally, from what you've mentioned, it contains everything about the planning for the document, and peradventure, the tester wasn't available at this stage. Then we would fall down to the I don't remember the terms, but you said something about SME, which they're the experts, right? So while the design would give us an idea on how to formulate the test case, I feel it's an opinion. I feel that if you do not go back to meet that expert that was probably available at that research gathering stage, we may not fully have enough information for the test cases. So that's where I still feel the gathering is the perfect spot for formulating the test case.
The requirement gathering. Are you still on requirement gathering?
After the requirement gathering.
Oh, okay. After requirement. Okay,
Yes.
good. All right. Thank you so much, Mary. Yes. I know Victor. Go on.
Okay, yes. Oh, so you said that, okay, what is our opinion if a tester comes in after the requirement gathering process? Maybe
Yes.
the build is already built. I feel that in this stage, you're not given a document to, in fact, you're not even given any document or the design Figma or anything. So what I feel ideally is for a tester is that you should just do perform a exploratory testing. Like so that's why I was saying that maybe it should be after the build stage, so that you have something to test on manually. Basically, you know that okay, you know the functionality of if it's an e-commerce website and buying and selling. You know that's the basic thing. Okay, my main goal is to buy and sell. You already know the expected results. Okay, if then now you can now use that basic knowledge to write your test case based on what you can see on the apps. So it's not until you have the requirement gathering or the design before you can actually write a test case and give a report for what you've tested. So that's just my own opinion on that. Thank you.
It means you're supporting the requirement analysis now.
No, I'm not supporting requirement analysis. I'm supporting after build stage. This build because
okay, build stage. Okay, that's what I want to hear. The build stage. I mean, you've explained. Don't worry. We'll say. I'll give you guys the answer. Thank you so much. I know. Yes, Sochi. You guys are not raising your hands. Are you sure we'll be able to finish? I think I'll just take after Sochi. I'll just pick one more, please. Yeah, go on, Sochi.
Okay, I picked after the requirement gathering stage because during
after
that
requirement gathering is what? After requirement gathering is what?
That's requirement gathering now. You said
you said you picked after requirement gathering, right?
Yeah, you mentioned that assuming the tester is not there during requirement gathering. I'm still picking after requirement gathering.
After requirement gathering is what? What is after requirement gathering?
It's design phase. But I'm not picking
you are
design.
picking design phase, right?
No, I'm not picking design. I'm picking after the requirement gathering.
What is after requirement gathering now?
The build.
Yeah?
Maybe she meant
to write the test case. To write the test case. Sochi.
No, hold on. You're confusing me, Sochi. What is after requirement gathering?
After requirement gathering, we have design.
Yes, that means you're picking your answer is for design, right?
I didn't pick design. I still pick requirement gathering.
Think
maybe requirement analysis or something.
The requirement analysis is not SDLC. That's STLC. I've not even taught you guys that one. We only created a scenario. These are the stages, right? These are the phases in your development stage. When you finish requirement gathering, the next phase you move into is design. And we gave ourselves an example or a question. We said, at what point in this SDLC phase do you start writing test cases? Do you understand?
That's what I'm saying. If I wasn't there, I'm the tester and I wasn't there during requirement gathering.
That means you're in the design phase now.
No, if I'm ready, let me finish my scenario so you understand where I'm coming from. If I'm brought in as a tester and I wasn't there during requirement gathering, I will still get the documents. I'll still get to see them, definitely. So even before the design, that's what I'm trying to see. That's why I said after requirement gathering. So I'll still get to see those documentations, the PRO, the user stories and the acceptance criteria. So I can use those documents to run even before seeing the Figma designs and the rest.
So okay, I think yeah, that's nice. Hold on. So I'll just pick one more person. Please don't be offended because of our time. I know you guys want us to sleep here. Most of you don't want to go anymore. True of us. So I should increase the time to 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock a.m.
Boss, I beg you.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
please, oh.
No, I'm kidding. We'll close exactly 8. That is why I'm trying to make sure we are sufficient enough with the knowledge we're sharing. Okay, so I'm going to pick one person.
Interesting.
Thank you so much. Deborah, right?
Yes.
So let me hear from Augustina Daniel. You raised up your hand. Okay, so go on. Tell us.
Okay, so the reason why I said during requirements analysis, I believe if you come in between the projects when they've done the requirement gathering, right? I believe that the PM or anybody in charge that is supposed to hand over the requirements would also do the same. What if in a situation whereby the requirements is also being given to the designer? So do you mean that as a tester, you will pause and wait for the designer to design before you start testing, writing your test case? So I believe you should be able to analyze your test case, analyze your requirements rather, so that even when the design comes in, you can adjust some certain things that you feel that need to be adjusted. You can edit your test case in between. There is always room for you to edit your test case, because even after the design, when the build will still come in, you will still edit your test case before you start testing properly. So I think.
Hello? Please, can anybody hear? Is it my network?
No.
Oh, damn it. It's our network, right? Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
No, maybe it's our network.
Yes, it's her network.
You can all please bring down your hands. Everybody tried. I mean, I can see everybody wants to talk, but because of time, I apologize. Please, I apologize. Let's do this again on Wednesday, and let's all come early. If we start very early, we'll be able to capture so much. Now, let me give you guys the answer. Now, looking at this SDLC actually, is either you are in the requirement gathering or you are in the design phase or build stage. There is no, in between. There is one phase, you move to the next phase. The answer is actually, now the answer may be tricky because some of you may not understand if this is your first time. But let me use a scenario based to answer this question. Right? I'm going to say it's a story, then you understand. Now, some of you are already asking for your input pay accounts. Calm down, be calming down. Now, this is it. Yeah, you write your requirements the moment they hand you the EROD. Does it make sense? Sorry, you write your test case the moment you get hold of your BRD. And the very first stage, when you get the BRD, is what we call the requirement analysis, meaning you are understanding the BRD. Forget the English. As soon as you get this BRD, you understand what the document is saying, even if you didn't join the requirement gathering. So far, you have the document. Remember, what you missed in the requirement gathering was what they've documented in the gathering phase. So after you understand what that document is saying, my dear, you are good enough to start writing. You don't have to be 100% correct. Do you understand? You just have to document test cases to show that you have insight of what the application or what they are talking about. Do you understand? It is never in the design phase. If you wait for that long, you may not develop as much as test cases, you know, as needed or required. If you wait at the build stage, at that stage, you're supposed to carry out exploratory and start your test execution, meaning you started testing already. So this is not to let you know that you have a wrong answer. Of course, you've learned now. You need to start as soon as you get hold of your PRD. Okay, now let's imagine you didn't or they don't have a PRD. Of course, we have some couple of things we discussed during the requirement gathering phase. We said SMEs, remember. And at that stage, you can engage with SMEs so you can gain insight. Can we write test cases if we have an engagement with SMEs? Of course, yes. The purpose of being the software tester is because you're a professional in that field. They expect that you are supposed to gather any requirement, any resources you need, materials, whether it is a manual of that application, even if it's not a full build, even if it's just a what's it called manual, you can start with a manual. The purpose or the point is so far you understand where the application is headed. Of course, you can start documenting test cases. So it falls under the requirement gathering stage, which we're not part of, but you have a document that was created at that stage. Does it make sense? So at the requirement gathering stage, it's important to note what and what. In fact, I think what we'll do next is what and what are being created at each stage. Remember, we said documents will be created at the requirement gathering stage, and that document will be handed over to every other development, everybody. And as soon as you get it, you do what? You start documenting test cases. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, everybody? It does.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
I'm really sorry, I may not be able to take more questions. Okay, I have two people raising their hands. Do you want to ask questions or you want to say something? Do you want to ask questions? Phillips and Olalekan, so that we can quickly take your questions. I think we'll end here for now because of time. Philip, if you're speaking, you can speak up. Olalekan,
no, sorry, it was the hand I raised previously.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm very sorry, guys. So some of you that got it, we were expecting so
Hello,
she
Mr. John.
said 5K. Yes, go on, please. I'm with you. Go on. I'm with
Yes, so with the current topic, the question you've thrown to everybody. So you've said the correct answer, but at the same time, testing is model dependent. Like
model dependent.
Speaking of waterfall, yes, like waterfall, for example, testing we start at testing we start after V model. At every stage, a testing is conducted. And of course, using agile model approach, testing, I think your answer or your response of what you've just talked about suits in when you talk about agile model. I don't know if that is correct, but just want to see what is in my mind so that we can clarify things here.
Thank you so much, Olalekan. I like when people speak so that, if you don't have an idea, but you feel that this would have made sense like this now. Why is it not like this? It's very, very important. It shows you really want to learn. You want to know more, and which is very, very essential. That's what we are doing here, to train you guys, of course, so you can learn. I get what you're saying. Agile methodology doesn't play a major role here. It doesn't affect your test case, no. It doesn't affect your test case writing. Remember, the question was on test case writing. When do you start writing test cases? I never said when do you start testing. True or false? Olali, can you hear? So the question was on writing. When do you start writing your test cases? Are you here, Olalekan? If you're talking, you're muted.
Yes, I can hear you.
So I don't know if it makes sense to you now that it is safe for us to say we can start writing test cases at the very beginning where we have the requirements and we understand it. Of course, we can start writing, right? right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just want to be very sure that you understand what we're saying. Testing, of course, will start at that stage, depending on the methodology we are using. But writing test cases would definitely start at the very beginning, or should I just use the word so you don't get confused? At the very point we have the requirement. And like I mentioned, if in the absence of no requirement, you know what we should do now? Engage with SMEs, engage with people that have interacted with the application before, or if there are manuals, something that gives you an insight to be able to document. In most cases, you will find out some organizations you work with have no documentation. And how would you do it? Remember, you have to save your job. You have to present something at the end of the day, because the requirement to take at least some days, weeks to complete, the requirement. The design phase will also take so many time to complete. So would you just wait for those period? Of course, no. Your testing activity should continue, should begin. So this is, of course, a very good question. No question is a bad question. Please always open up, speak. In your group, the Slack channel I was added into, I don't see much activities going on there. I believe today, some of you will take it upon yourself to make research, ask me questions. The truth is, if I don't know it, my colleague here, Udeme, she was able to back up for me very quickly. So, because no man is an island, even you might make a mistake. You might have the wrong perception or the wrong idea. Even me, it's possible I'm saying something that is wrong. You people might even, no, Mr. John, what if then I also, oh, that's true. Oh, yeah. Okay. So please, I want to see that your Slack channels are very, very engaging. Ask questions. The very good thing that single you out, that makes you, or that make you thrive more in this field, is the ability to learn on your own. In as much as you're in this class, taking this training, you may not get everything from what I'm saying, because I might be taking details from different aspects based on my experience. But for you to learn at a very granular stage, at a very lower stage, you take it, especially if you're the type that learn, bit by bit. Some people learn very fast. When you tell them something, they catch it. So you have to say that thing 2 times or 3 times before they catch it. So what I'm saying is, after this class, right, let's go back, read about SDLC, watch YouTube videos. It may not necessarily give you all the answer, but it will give you an insight to what we just spoke about. And some of your questions, when you read and hear some other things, and then you now start making sense to you, okay? And this video will be made available. Go through it. If you have questions, please, I'm always here to answer you. I think at this point, we can call it a day, right? Does anyone have any question? Any
No
question?
Mr. John, I want to find out, do you plan to give assignment?
Of course, I will give an assignment. But I think I like my assignment to be more of a poll. Do you know poll?
Okay, yes.
Because I think about it, how do you guys normally send your assignments to your tutors? Like, how do you send them?
We create a form, so we set a time frame for the form once published. So people will click on the form, answer the question, then you have access to see people as they're submitting the assignment.
Okay, wonderful. Then I think I'll adopt that method. So this is my first time interacting with you guys, and I really, really love the energy. I love the fact that everyone is willing to learn. The way you ask questions, it makes more sense to me. And of course, I don't know. So you can also evaluate my teaching. If there is something you feel like I can do better, please help me. Drop them with, maybe they would send the form. I mean, I'm going to engage with my colleague to send the form so you can, set those things you want as an improvement. I may not know, because I'm just teaching. If I'm too fast, if you don't even understand what we've been saying, if you think you need a peer group, I think we should have a peer group. Do you guys already have that ongoing? Peer group?
No, we don't.
Okay, because I like to, create peer groups where you guys can learn, because I like giving assignments in groups, very, very importantly. You may not be able to do it alone. So the next assignment I'll be dropping, you guys will be giving me a 10-minute presentation. That is why it is important to join in class very early. I need the list of everybody in this class. Dari, was it Dari? Is Dari the head of the department? I'll be head of the class, sorry. Dari, right?
The class rep is in absentia, but I think it took exemption for this class, so I'm actually assisting.
What's your name?
Yes, Dari, you're correct, Dari.
Okay, Dari. Okay, thank you so much. So can you get me the list of everybody in this class? I'll do the division. I'll set you guys into groups. Then we would now give ourselves an assignment. And please do the assignment, because it would only make sense for us to, catch up together as a team in the next class. Because if you don't do it, it means you may not be able to do your presentation and you score your entire group 0, which of course is not a very good experience. Be a team player so others can, of course, collaborate with you and then flow with you. So please, Dari, give me the list of everybody. I'll be able to, section you into groups, and I'll give you an assignment everybody will do. And of course, I will still send an assignment after this meeting so you guys can do individually, so as to get, the whole energy flowing. Don't just keep your laptop and your book. So get ready for an exciting journey. Next Wednesday, we'll go beyond 8 o'clock. Maybe we might end even pretty late because of what we need to teach. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Yes,
So
thank you so much.
I'll get this your DM via Slack, the attendance.
Sorry?
I'll get the attendance to you via Slack, your DM.
Of course. Yeah, my DM. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And
Please, Mr. John, the timing is too early.
Oh, you think we should go beyond this?
No, as in, I mean the timing. The time you are starting, 6 to 8. It's not favorable for some of us. Like on Wednesday,
That's true.
it's not favorable for me.
So what time is favorable? I mean, we should discuss
Maybe
about
from
this
like
now.
8 to 10 is fine.
Do you know I actually proposed 8 to 10, but they said no.
At
Some
least
of you may
8,
not be able to.
7
Okay,
to
hold
9.
on.
Fine.
Hold on.
7 is fair, please.
Hold
8
on.
to 10 is late.
Okay, hold on.
8 to 10 is okay, because some of us, I'll go to church.
Wait. Let's do it as a vote, right? We are going to raise a poll in the Slack channel with different time. Now, let me first of all ask you, can you guys go 3 hours, first of all? 2 hours, 30 minutes, or 2 hours?
Yes.
2 hours is fine, sir. 2 hours is
2
fine.
hours is fine, sir.
2 hours.
Is fine.
So the only thing I would just advise
Wait
is we come early. Let us just come early. If we come early, at
Okay.
least the time will be enough.
Wonderful. So 2 hours. Good.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a time frame from 7 to 9, right? 6 to 8. Now, apologies if they pick 6. If more people pick 6 to 8, I mean, I don't know how to change it. It's within you guys now. So before my poll, you guys can have a little meeting within yourself. I don't know if you ever have a meeting. That's why it's very important to section you guys into groups so you guys will be able to, do more and of course, collaborate together. So when you pick the time, of course, we'll be available by that time. Deal, right? Is it a deal, right?
Yes, it's a deal for me.
All right. So see you guys on Wednesday, and just get ready. Tie your Iro and Boba because we'll be
Sorry,
having.
is the next class on Wednesday? I thought the next class. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but today is Monday.
Yeah, today is Monday. The next class will be on Wednesday. If I'm to do the class every day, some of us will be very tired. So Wednesday.
No, it's fine. I assumed today was Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday is okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for having me. You're welcome. You're
All right,
welcome. Have a
thank
great day.
you. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Please, 1 minute before you leave the call.
Okay.
Please confirm you can still hear me, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
I dropped a question in the chat. I think Oladele Sekinat answered it correctly. For those who are still contemplating the right and wrong answers or who don't completely agree with John, if you recall, what is requirement traceability metrics? Can anyone remember what Mr. Chooks said it was? Requirement traceability metrics. So I'll just, because there's no time, I'll just help you guys remember it. So if this was the only interview question that was given to you guys, is this how we'll fail? All right, there's no time. Moving on. Requirement traceability metrics is you trying to draw a line. It's part of the document you show to prove that you have covered your test extensively. So part of the document that supports maximum test coverage. In requirement traceability metrics, you create test cases based on the requirements. So if they say, if you received a PRD or a BRD with 5 requirements, you must have drawn test cases, a lot of test cases, positive and negative test cases, boundary value analysis, different types of strategies you want to use. But basically, you will draw your tests based on those 5 requirements. The RTM shows the link between the requirements and the test cases. So if requirement 1 says that users should be able to sign up with only a Gmail, you would do a positive test case, that is test with an actual Gmail. Then you will do several negative test cases, test with an invalid email, maybe it has a Gmail, the mail is not complete, or Gmail, there's no .com. You test with a Yahoo, you test with a Hotmail, you test with other things, right? If you are writing your RTM would be test case 1, valid with a Gmail. Test case 2, with an incorrect email. Test case 3, with a Yahoo email, a valid email, but that is not Gmail, e.g. a Yahoo email. Test case 4 like that. Your RTM will say requirement 1. I drafted test case 1 to 4 for requirement 1. Why am I mentioning this? You can only do an RTM when you have gotten the requirements. So for those who say you wait, it will not be elaborate, it will not be extensive. There's nothing like that, because once you have the requirements, you already, even without a design, a Figma design, you already know what the application is supposed to have. And you're already drafting test cases to ensure that what they've written in the requirements is what you will test for whenever the design comes. So the design is just color, formats, shapes, images. It doesn't change the functionality, right? So an RTM is a proof that as soon as you have your requirements, you can start creating test cases. You can create your test cases as soon as you have those requirements, generate an RTM before the designer even joins the team, right? So I just wanted to drive that home for those who might still be saying I don't agree with that answer, just to help you. All right, so assignment number 2, to whatever assignment John is going to give, download a Figma design of any application that is in. Figma is a product design tool. So go online, research for a Figma design of any product, sample products you see, and add it to the assignments that Mr. John will give. All right, good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.